Second and really final day of Patriots mandatory minicamp here at Gillette, and they were indoors because, well, it was like it's been for most of the last 12 weeks outside.
Usually only on Saturdays, though.
Here in New England, it's true.
Yeah.
For it to be like this on a Tuesday, this is usually when we get the like 80-degree weather. Meghan Ottolini of WEI and Odyssey with Justin Turpin of WEI and Odyssey, and just like the weather outside, the offense a little bit sloppier today than what we saw yesterday, Justin.
For sure. It felt like they were moving a little bit quicker today, but the execution just wasn't necessarily there. Drake May had the interception, a couple drop passes. Wasn't what you would have liked to see from the offense before they go on a 5-week break here, but it's still a learning portion. And once they get back to training camp in July, it's going to be more of the same. And we're going to see hiccups throughout the early season with this offense. That's just the reality. It's a young team with a new offensive coordinator, a young quarterback, and it's to be expected. But for the most part, I think they were progressing a little bit more throughout camp, but they're going to have these hiccups.
It was a great day for the defense. They were showing a lot of different stuff here in this very limited space in the field house. And as you mentioned, Christian Gonzalez picked off Drake May in the competitive period in the 11s, and Drake May was targeting Kyle Williams just in stride. Boom, Gonzalez got it, tried to run it all the way back. So he's somebody who, of course, everybody's looking forward to on the defense. I would say we got to see a lot of the young guys today, which was fun. A lot of work early on in competitive periods featuring Travion Henderson, another nice catch from Kyle Williams, who, again, it's only 2 days because the team's taking meetings and just, you know, taking the day off from the field tomorrow. But Kyle Williams, I think it's safe to say, had a pretty nice camp. He had a contested catch yesterday, and he came back and had a nice grab today. Play of the day today, I will say, tight end Hunter Henry, who's really become kind of a binky for Drake May, as he is for every quarterback who he plays with that rolls through here. He had a one-handed grab on an out route. It was nice.
You know, Josh McDaniels was loving that one.
Absolutely
loving that. But Kyle Williams has looked good. He's quick. He doesn't have a ton of size, but he's fast. And he made that jumping catch yesterday in traffic, and he was being targeted a lot today. So it seems like he's on track to be at least a conversation in this receiver room. And he had a great camp. I agree.
One thing that I think stuck out to both of us before practice even got started, Mike Vrabel addressed the media, and he talked a little bit about Steph Diggs not being here during OTAs. Obviously, that's a voluntary portion of the offseason program, but I think sounded a little irked.
Yeah, and it wasn't really prompted.
A little bit irked at that. Well, it was kind of this open-ended question, I'm going to paraphrase, of, hey, what are you seeing from Steph Diggs so far? And the takeaway from me was Mike Vrabel wanted to see more of him here in the spring.
I don't blame him. I mean, the only player with more NFL experience on this team right now than Stephon Diggs is Morgan Moses. And this is a young team, especially in the receiver room. Like, they were out of control last year. They needed some directive, some result in the room. And that's why part of the reason they brought in Stephon Diggs, obviously they brought him also to be a game changer and hopefully be that 100-catch, 1,000-yard guy he was before the injury. But they want him here. You want your veterans here, especially everyone's learning a new system, and he's not exempt of that. Just because he's been around the block doesn't mean that he's fluent in this system. So yeah, of course you're going to want him here. And I think Vrabel really took that personally because, you know, he wants him to be a leader. He wants him to be a role model in this, specifically in the receiving room, and he just wasn't there the first 2 days. But I will give Steph a lot of credit because he has been very vocal, and that stood out to me a lot through these mini camps, how vocal he has been and how hands-on, always going up to the younger guys, giving them encouragement, coaching them up. He's always one of the first ones to go in the individual drills. Like, that stuff I think does mean a lot.
Yeah, what's nice, I think, with the group of veterans that they've brought in from free agency is that these are guys who are very hands-on with the younger guys, be it somebody that's coming in just from the draft in the spring or somebody who's been here for the last 2 years, somebody like Pop Douglas, I think, could benefit a lot. Yeah, he had some nice looks from Drake May, but could benefit a lot from having Steph Diggs give him some pointers here and there. And Steph talked about that a little bit after practice. You even saw during some of the work in the middle of the practice, Demontre Jacobs getting coached up by Morgan Moses, which is cool. So it's nice to see, like, as much as they've staffed out this coaching staff, that they have these veterans who are coming in, and be it Steph Diggs, be it Morgan Moses, somebody who's already been here like Hunter Henry. Like, there's a lot of, I guess, directives around this learning portion. Once they get into training camp in a couple weeks, Will it still look that way? I think it will. I think the leadership will still show itself that way, but it's going to be definitely more high intensity. Pads come on. It's going to be a very different look for all of these guys.
I brought it up to you when we were standing on the side watching it. It's like I look to the left and it's just Doug Marrone coaching up the offensive line. It's like little things that you forget, all these former head coaches, and that experience is invaluable. I mean, when you are a head coach of a team and then you go on, you just know how to do it. You understand. You have that know-how. And looking around the position groups here, it's just there's former head coaches everywhere. And it's kind of forgotten just because of what they did in free agency, obviously going out and spending a ton of money that people aren't necessarily thinking about the coaching staff. But they did a great job staffing them out as well, where they built a great staff around Mike Vrabel. And you just look around, you see all this experience and all this football knowledge on the field. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I would say from one more thing from a player perspective, little bit of an off day for Ramondre Stevenson. He was there for some checkdowns, and Ramondre always looks good. It's hard to tell with some running backs when you're really such limited contact at these points of the offseason, but he had a very notable drop that was right off the fingertips on a throw from Drake May. So he's somebody who missed some time because he was on bereavement leave, and looking forward to getting into the competitive portion later this summer. And hopefully he looks back to himself, as we know, before some of the turnovers last year, like the guy that we like to see.
Right. We need to limit those turnovers. That's the biggest thing with him. And that was a concern, obviously, when his first year, too, with Belichick. He was in the doghouse for weeks at first. So, yeah, that's definitely a point of emphasis for him.
All right, well, you'll be writing on weei.com. I'll be writing on weei.com, and we'll continue to have coverage through the rest of the offseason as we get into training camp in July.